doubt in your mind over your team for what is, I guess, a very important game tomorrow, given what's at stake and a place in the quarterfinal of a domestic cup, which would, I suppose, consolidate the good work that you've done this season?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the cup game. It's obviously a tough draw for us, and quite often in the cup you need to get good draws on the journey as well. But I also believe, to get to the final, you probably have to play some big sides on the way there, and you're probably going to have to win some big games. So this is a really big game for us, tough game, and up against a pretty much informed side.
You know more than anyone the kind of pressures that come with being manager of Manchester United. Solskjaer, he gets praised and he gets slated almost on a weekly basis. What do you view his work? How do you view the work he is doing there?
Well, I think given the time that he's been given, he started to mould together a really young, exciting team. They've had a couple of really good players come through the academy, Greenwood, Rashford, just to name a couple who've certainly helped. They've brought in a couple of players which has helped the team also. So I think that they're building a nice team. But I think that time what Ollie's been given has made a big difference to him, giving him a chance to do that.
If only you'd had the same amount of time, I guess.
It's football, and those times are gone now, but I'm enjoying my time at West Ham at the moment, Simon, and hopefully over time I can do a good job here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Simon. Gary Cottrell.
David, thank you for your time. Just on Thomas, given the almost unprecedented universal criticism of that decision, can you go ahead and plan for him to be in your team at Old Trafford?
No, I can't, Gary. And I'm sitting here today, this morning, we're waiting on the FA deciding what the situation is. So it makes it quite a little bit difficult because we can't plan greatly at this moment in time. But I'm hoping that we get an early response, and I would hope that things would be seen in the correct fashion. But who knows? Because I guess you'd like to field a strong team. It's the FA Cup. It's Old Trafford. You've got a week almost to prepare for the next Premier League game afterwards. So under normal circumstances, you'd probably pick a first choice team, would you, for this game? Well, I think we've picked strong teams against Stockport and against Doncaster. So, we're certainly not picking a weakened team. We may have one or two changes through injury or through suspension or whatever it may be, but we're plans to try and go there with a really strong team, and if we can get through into the next round of the Cup. Do you take pride in going to Old Trafford with West Ham playing the way they are, 6th in the Premier League, chance of going even higher? I'm really pleased with how the players have done and how we've come on. I think we gave Manchester United a very good game at the stadium. It was a strange decision that changed the game when we were winning 1-0, that it changed it and got them back in it. But overall, I think that we've competed quite well against the top teams. We've got a bit to go yet to be at that level, and that can take a long time, and sometimes it's very difficult to get there. But I've got to say, I hope we can go there, give them a really good game. We want to try and get through in the Cup. The FA Cup has always caused upsets, so we've got to try and do that this time. And you are where you are in the Premier League without a penalty this season. I see Declan's had a bit of fun on social media, tongue-in-cheek, asking when your first penalty is going to come along. I think your last one was at Old Trafford, wasn't it, in July? Why do you think that is? Why haven't West Ham had a penalty this season? Because I tell the players to stay on their feet and not go down easy. Simple as that. I like the game to be played correct, Do you feel that should be something that other managers, head coaches adopt? I don't know. It's up to them. Maybe I'm the wrong one. Maybe I should be looking to gain. But I want us to be an honest football team, and I want us to try and do things correct. That will not always happen. Obviously, it won't. But we've not been getting penalty kicks. That's for sure. And maybe out there, just finally, referees listening to this will take that on board. No, it's certainly not for that. You asked me the question, Gary. I've tried to answer it the best I can, but we do. We hope. Well, I hope there's a bundle of penalty kicks going to come in the second half of the season. Let's look at it that way.
Thanks, Gary. James.
Morning, David.
Morning, James.
David, Mikel came off on Saturday, suggested he was slightly fatigued. How's he looking heading into tomorrow's game? Has he got a chance of featuring?
Still fatigued, so it'll be a close call whether he makes it or not. But I'll see how he is today. We'll need to assess him tomorrow and see if we think that if he's able to play or not.
Do you feel like you've got enough different options if he was unable to play a part tomorrow?
Well, it's been well documented that we don't have lots of different options, James. We're well aware of that. We chose to do it. I didn't want to waste 15, 20 million on something which I wasn't sure about. So that was the option we chose to take.
Manchester United enjoying a good run of form this season. What has been most impressive for you? Where do you feel like they've progressed the most in recent time?
Well, I think Manchester United, I think Bruno Fernandes is nearly giving them another dimension completely. I think they had really talented players prior to that, but I think that he's given them sort of orchestrates most of their good play. And at the end of it, they've got great speed, great ability in Rashford, Greenwood, Martial, Cavani now. So they have really talented players. But we've got talented players as well, and I think that we need to go there and try and put on a good show. We drew last year near the end of last season. We drew at Old Trafford. And I thought for long periods in the game at home, we certainly played as well as Manchester United, and albeit that we didn't win the game in the end.
There's been a lot of praise for Luke Shaw in recent weeks, but at the same time, do we need to look at Aaron Cresswell and some of his performances and the form he's in at the moment? Surely he's got to be in the mix for England when the next international break comes up.
Well, if he keeps his standards up and he keeps his form up, then he'll be close, because I think when you're an English player, I think that you're always in the spotlight, and I think if you can get some good form, I think at the moment England have got one or two good left backs and people who could play as a left centre back in the three. But I think Cress's performance in the first half of the season has been very good.
And just finally for me, David, I know you were disappointed with that point on Saturday, but that point took you up to the tally that West Ham achieved last season. Still another 15 matches left to play. Is that just an indication of how this side is growing?
I think the team has done really, really well. I mean, I couldn't praise the players enough for how they've done. But I've got to say that I generally think that we've got another step to go. I think what we've got to do, we've got to hang in when we're not playing so well, and we've got to find ways and solutions to get points, pick points up. But I've seen some levels of our performance recently, which has given me big hope that we can keep getting better. So we need to keep driving them on. We've got half the season to go now, and hopefully we can keep showing the form we showed in the first half of the season in the second part.
Thanks, James. Cameras off, please. Andy.